Aristotle proposed that humans are inherently social beings, that the highest form of human life is achievable only within the context of community and good living, surrounded by others. And he called this According to this definition, society and the communities that we build become an essential framework for achieving a good and fulfilling life. He argued that individuals cannot realize their full potential in isolation. Instead, they require the structure, relationships, and mutual support found within a community. A community provides a setting where individuals can engage in growth, self-exploration, and pursue the common good. With that in mind, communities can be seen as a means to an end, a facilitator for achieving eudaimonia. Eudaimonia is not a fleeting state of happiness, but a lifelong process of cultivating virtues. Aristotle believed these virtues are developed through practice and habituation, often within a community that values moral education and shared responsibility. Our communities then become both a moral and practical necessity, offering an opportunity for individuals to live freely and contribute to the collective well-being, respectively. Despite this, Aristotle's vision of society was hierarchical. The communities that he envisioned placed certain groups in a more subordinate role, a concept that many modern communities reject today as we've grown and evolved over time. As our idea of community and connection has developed, we've come to rely on others, and we've been taught that we should be more accepting and participate in social conventions that will help further our communities. This allows us to better suit the needs of the whole. We have the freedom to grow, yet in our pursuit of eudaimonia, we're expected to fit in, an expectation placed on us by Jean-Paul Sartre's concept of the other and Charles Taylor's theory of recognition offer insights into the role of community in shaping individual identity and relationships, both of which observe the concept of identity based on the interdependence of self and others. In Being and Nothingness, Sartre describes the other as a central figure in the formation of self-consciousness. For Sartre, the mere presence of another person creates a dynamic tension where we perceive ourselves as objects in their gaze. This experience of being seen by the other reveals our own subjectivity as individuals, but can also feel alienating. It challenges our sense of freedom and self-expression. He viewed relationships as inherently conflictual, because the existence of the other imposes limits on our autonomy. Within a community, this tension manifests in the constant negotiation between individual freedom and collective identity, exploration of self, or conformity. Sartre's framework suggests that communities must grapple with the challenge of balancing individual agency with mutual recognition. Charles Taylor, on the other hand, takes a more optimistic view of the relationship between ourselves and others. In The Politics of Recognition, he argues that identity cannot fully manifest in isolation, but through our interactions with others who recognize and affirm our worth. Recognition is not just a courtesy, but a vital human need. Not recognizing a person as an individual can harm them by undermining their sense of self. Communities play a crucial role in this process as they provide the context for reciprocal recognition, where individuals can validate one another's unique identities and create a safe space for growth. Both perspectives highlight our communities as a space of interaction, a space in which identity is shaped and negotiated. Through this constant tension and affirmation, our communities become a foundation in which we can grow ever closer to happiness. In recent years, however, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, communities were no longer shackled to location alone. They were given the freedom to change and fluctuate, and we as individuals were given the freedom to embrace Unlike our traditional communities, rooted in physical proximity or cultural ties, digital communities are often formed around shared interests, hobbies, or causes. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and Discord can help foster these groups, enabling individuals to find like-minded people regardless of geography. This accessibility creates opportunities for niche groups to thrive and for marginalized voices to find solidarity. Yet the same characteristics that make digital communities dynamic also contribute to their transience. Digital platforms prioritize the ease of entry and exit, allowing members to join or leave with minimal commitment. Relationships formed online are often subject to the fluidity of the internet, where shifting algorithms, platform policies, or personal interests can dissolve bonds quickly. For example, communities built around trending topics or short-lived cultural phenomena can fade as their relevance wanes. The anonymity and ephemerality of online interactions can also weaken the sense of accountability and investment that sustains traditional communities. Disagreements or a lack of shared long-term goals can fragment groups. Zygmunt Bauman describes this as part of a liquid modernity, where relationships are more flexible, but are often shallow. Despite this, digital communities can achieve a meaningful impact when they're rooted in a shared goal, such as activism or mental health support. While they're transient, they reflect the evolving ways that humans are able to form connections in our increasingly digital world. They serve as a new way for individuals to pursue eudaimonia. While an ideal community emphasizes this personal growth and freedom of expression, they can't be fully celebrated without demanding a little bit of conformity. You can't have one without the other. This is a concept that's come to be known as the paradox of community lies in its dual capacity to unify and divide. While communities are essential for fostering connection, shared identity, and mutual support, they also risk conformity and the suppression of individuality. Communities often define themselves by creating boundaries, distinguishing who belongs and who doesn't. Carl Schmitt highlighted that every community has an implicit friend-enemy distinction, where the inclusion of some necessitates the exclusion of others. This can lead to prejudice and marginalization of those that are deemed outsiders. Even within communities, the pressure to conform to shared norms or values can stifle individual expression and lead to conflict. Additionally, the very diversity that strengthens the community can also challenge its cohesion. As Jean-Luc Nancy suggests in The Inoperative Community, the ideal community is one that embraces openness and difference, resisting the urge to homogenize its members. However, achieving this balance is complex. Too much diversity without a shared goal can fragment a community, while too much uniformity can suppress dissent and creativity. The paradox of community ultimately suggests that we have a responsibility. It reflects the tension between unity and individuality. Communities thrive when they provide a balance, creating spaces where individuals feel connected, yet feel to express their unique identities. Recognizing and navigating this tension is essential for building inclusive and resilient communities in our increasingly interconnected world. As a community, we have the responsibility to accept others. We should be open to their eccentricities and validate each other. In return, we hope that others will validate us. A constant throughout 2,000 years of philosophy is that community is a necessity. Without human connection, we can never reach